Welcome back, everybody. My name is Grace, or Gibby, whatever you prefer, and today I'm going to talk about this week's release, which includes the Cinco de Mayo and the Star Slayer Void Takeover. Now, I've got three main things to talk about. One, the Pinata Random Monster Hunt got an updated item, which I'm going to show you. Two, the Cinco de Mayo limited time shop got a set of 3 earth weapons and an earth shield, so kind of goes hard. And 3, Star Slayer not only got a house card, but also a new energy pet and guest. So we're gonna just start on going, and I'm gonna look at the limited time shop. So the May the 4th shop is pretty simple, nothing new this year, but I thought I'd show it. And it simply has all of these token items are basically just blood blades. They're not really worth the tokens in my opinion. Some people like them, but really not worth your time unless you're a big whale. The Star Saber is simply a melee, magic, and ranged weapon, which compresses earth and dark. It's particularly notable for rangers in my opinion, since there are so few compression spears, and this one's a 0 proc, unlike some other options like the Maple Spear and one other that I can't remember the name of. So this actually could help out some FO rangers, fit some items into their build, but it does compete with some pretty strong energy spears, so it'd for sure be a trade-off. Next up is the Cinco de Mayo shop. If you don't like my accent, totally valid. I haven't spoken Spanish in several years. I learned in middle school, and then I learned Chinese after that, so I kind of forgot the Spanish. That being said, I'm just going to get right through it. The Zaragoza, the Puebla Wind Mace, and the Puebla Lance, all of these are pretty much just generic weapons with like 20 procs or 30 procs. Not really worth your time. The Obsidian Mace, the Sunstone Mace, and the Aztec Bow. First of all, beautiful weapons. Especially the maces, I really like them. The bow is nice too. But my favorite is probably the Sunstone Mace. Shame I won't be using it because it's a mage weapon. I usually cast spells, but it's gorgeous. I love it. But what these weapons do is they're forged with an almost imperceptible obsidian edge, and these mighty weapons can rend your foe's defenses, making them more vulnerable to damage. Now, that's an Elevuln effect that it's talking about, so the weapons trade some of their damage to inflict an Elevuln, and it's a 20% Elevuln, so all earth damage will be increased by 20%. It's pretty cool. I'm going to show them in action later on in the video. The shield is the Earth Goddess Defender. I'm going to just take a moment to acknowledge this art. Potentially not my favorite type of design, but that's okay. It's just a normal Earth shield, minus 26 with some balance resistances, and drawing on the ancient power of an Earth Goddess, this shield can protect you from Earth attacks, providing further protection if you use some SP. So what it does is once per turn, you can click it to get a 25% Earth Ellie shield. So you take 25% less Earth damage for 2 turns. You can also click it the next turn, and then it stacks up a little bit, but it's not like you can quick cast stack it infinite times. That being said, it's a pretty good Earth shield, and I'll also just show you how it looks in game, in battle. So, those are the 2 limited time shops that got updated. Well, again, the Star Slayer shop didn't get, or the May the 5th. May the Force be with you, or whatever. May the 4th, yeah. That one didn't get updated, but I thought I'd showcase it. Next thing that got updated is Star Slayer. Now, Star Slayer, he's kind of a bad bitch. Okay, as I was saying, he's kind of a bad bitch. So, you gotta watch out for him, because he will obliterate your cheeks if you're not careful. What I'm going to do is I'm going to set up my inventory just the way that I think is the easiest to kill him. And that is simply Energy Armor, Energy Shield, Essence of Carnage on Backlash, and Anger Linorm on Backlash. I'm also going to get full SP because he locks you out of your miscs, or gets a high chance to. I think it's 100% though. So now, hopefully I'm just going to backlash him and just kill him with whatever spell damage I need. So that's pretty much the method. I have a Google Doc. I'll link it in the description if you're looking for more specific information. But this method is quite reliable, and I found that it works quite well. Just going to see. I think I'll use a 4-hit wind spell. He's also very dodgy, 140 MRM, roughly. So do watch yourself for that. But see the backlash, it just obliterated him. It also obliterated me. You can die on occasion, but I just chose to tank the hit. So there's a couple things to talk about in this shop. We've got the Star Slayer and Star Savior. These are a little bit outdated, but they're fully defensive and fully offensive for Slayer and fully defensive for Savior. And they have like a choke skill and not much else. They're okay, but they're not great. Dark Invader is what really shines in the armor section. It's an energy fire compression armor, and it just has huge utility with its skill, which is like Force Choke or something. And it inflicts defense loss, Ellie Vuln, status weakness, I think blind, just a ton of statuses, and it's very effective to use for fire and energy damage effects. I really would recommend picking this up for any build, Ranger, Mage, Warrior, fully defensive, fully offensive, Beastmaster even. It's just a stellar item, probably one of the best items that's not a tier 3 class armor. There's also some faces you could get if you're interested. I don't love any of them personally, but they're okay. And we've got these titles as well. So, the new stuff is the Star Slayer House Guard. This guy, he's going to add some challenge to some House Gauntlets. Also, he is cheaper than usual, I think. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know how much House Guards usually are, but I thought they were 6k. Anyways, moving on. The House Guard is cool, but not the main attraction. The main attraction is the Call Magru Guest and the Magru Pet. Now, let's take a look at him. In case you couldn't tell, he's based off of Baby Yoda from The Mandalorian. I've been meaning to watch that show, actually, but I haven't gotten around to it. I know it's been like 2 years, but, like, listen, things came up. Wasn't that COVID back when it came out? Anyways. This cute little guy is already adept at using a mysterious force. He can call down burning lightning, replenish your mana, or just ram into foes. Now, before we talk about the pet, this little guy can already use a mysterious force, and he looks like this. Do you think if AQ was a bigger game, they would get copyright issues for this? Like, they also have Dark Vader, but like, yeah, like, do you guys think if this game was like big and made money, they'd have copyright issues? I don't know, but I was thinking about it, and I was like, that's pretty blatant, like, stealing. Anyways, not important. What is important, he's a 3-mode pet and guest. So he can do pure damage, he can trade half his damage for an energy burn, or he can do a pure mana healing effect on the player. Now, pure mana healing is a pretty rare effect. It's only on Fairy Godmother, like the Soul Luna pet, and the temporary guest Dragon Slayer Twilly. So the fact that we have it on a permanent guest is actually kind of a big deal. One thing to note is that this does scale off the foe's energy resistance, so it'll be stronger against even the healing. Will be stronger against a water monster and weaker against an energy monster. So do keep that in mind, especially since a lot of bosses have like low all-around resistances. It might not be quite as good as it could be, but still, I think it's a great item. Shame that it's tokens, but I'm probably going to get it during Black Friday. I've been saying that a lot this year, that I'm going to get stuff during Black Friday. We'll see if I have enough tokens. But overall, very nice pet update and guest update to Star Slayer, and I'm glad we have the House Guard as well, because a lot of people wanted that for their House Gauntlets. So the next thing we're going to do is the Pinata Monster Hunt. So, I just paused and came back. But the Pinata Monster Hunt it's a rare monster hunt, so it's where you go into the random battles and look for the Pinata. Now that being said, going into random battles and looking for the Pinata is not a very efficient way to find it. You'll spend a lot longer doing that than you will with this method that I'm about to show you, which is the Paxia clan defense method. And you can do this for pretty much any rare monster hunt where you know the element of the monster. And for the record, we're going to be attacking Giotto. If you want to find the Chupacabra, you should attack Nocturnu, but I'm just going to mention the Chupacabra later on. So Giotto, you do 3 battles, or you do 2 battles, and then flee on the 3rd battle, because it bugs out on the 4th battle. But I'm actually not going to waste your guys' time by going through this in the video. I did that earlier, and I bought the house painting. So, let me just, oh, whoa, I shouldn't have spam clicked quite that fast. I'll pause 1 second. Okay, the painting's lagged out, but I got it fixed. And here we go, battling the Pinata. Now, I bought the level 150 painting, which was a mistake, and I'll show you why. But I do recommend, if you think that you're going to be revisiting this event in the future, or you're not sure what items you want to buy or how many copies, I do recommend grabbing one of the Pinata paintings because, 1, it's a seasonal event, and 2, it's just annoying as hell to go and find the Pinata every time. It took me like 40 battles my first time. And even when you do find the Pinata, it has 3 options when you kill it. One is like a joke thing, the other is temporary items, and the 3rd is the shop. So the shop is the one you want, so it could take you a long ass time to actually get the items. Like, see, here I've got the temporary items. I can get the pet, the shield, the weapon, the other weapon, but I don't want those, obviously. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause and refight the Pinata until I get to the shop. Okay, so 6 or 7 fights later, I got the Pinata shop. Again, it's a 1 in 3, but if you get unlucky, you could be waiting a little while. So, there's a couple things in the Pinata shop. The maracas and the machete, pretty much useless. The maracas has a chance to paralyze on a 20 proc, so kinda cheeks, and the machete does bonus damage to monsters without strength, but it's only 10%, so I can't really see a reason to use it. The maracas does look kind of cool and it has a Mexican flag going on. That's kind of the only redeeming factor. We also have these faces, which I'm gonna say it. These faces are kind of heat. We got the rainbow color scheme. We got a mustache on one of them. The mustache was so good they actually reused it for the Clever Disguise quest. Listen. But here are the paintings. And I'm actually going to show you guys something. I'm going to buy the cheapest one, level 10, and just show you what happens when you use that one. So the pets are actually old, but we've got the Quetzal, which is an Earth Wind Compression pet. Pretty simple, but it's good to have an Earth Wind Compression pet. And second of all, we've got El Santo Moglin. So normally he just attacks each turn, but you can put him in a mode where he pauses for 1 turn, inflicts a weakened defense on you, and then his next attack is stronger. So he does notably more damage on that second attack. Not just double damage for waiting a turn, but also a damage bonus because you lost defenses. The new item is Pinata Pummel. This spell, first of all, looks a little bit funny because Twig comes and beats it with a stick. It's 2 hits, and I'll tell you what it does. You call forth a Pinata and smash it. If your foe is a spellcaster, they'll take additional damage, but swipe some candy for a boost to its SP. So use it carefully. Use its strength and luck for damage. So, what it does is if your foe uses its SP bar for a skill, then it will do 50% more damage, so 300% melee, and it'll heal their SP. At level 150, it'll give them 350 SP, which is a lot. But it does a large amount of damage, and it's very efficient. Probably the most efficient burst spell we've ever had, depending on how much you value the foe's SP attack. Against something like the Rubzard, you'd never want to use this spell because its SP attack is hugely strong. Against something with a weak SP attack, you might use it. Okay, so we've covered the Star Slayer items, the Cinco de Mayo weapons and shield, and now the Pinata got a new item. So I'm going to go into the combat practice trainer, and I'll show you guys a couple more. Actually, before we do that, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you the Pinata, that the level 10 Pinata should open up at the same shop. So I'm just going to bet on the 1 and 3 that we get it this attempt, and it opens up the shop. Okay, hold on. I'll reset until I get the shop and show you guys that it's just as good as the level 150 version. So you don't have to waste all those tokens on the level 150 painting. Okay, so another 5 resets, and we get the shop. Now this shop has all the same items, all the same levels on everything, but if you look at the prices, this level 10 shop costs 100 tokens, and this level 150 shop costs 1500 tokens. So you can just save yourself some money and get the level 10 version, unless for some reason you want the level 150 Pinata. But that's one quick time save. Now we're off to the combat practice trainer to show off some of the items. Okay, so I've got some items here just to showcase them briefly, and then I'm going to test out the new earth items, weapons, on some wind monsters. But we've got El Santo Moglin, so you want to put on a crowd-pleasing show before attacking. And then I've got the shield, which I can click to give myself earth defense. And then about 20% Elibone. So note, I can click the shield again, and now I get a slightly stronger earth shield. And now look at this. This guy is about to go to town on his ass, so you love to see it. There's a couple of other things. I'll attack with the bow. You can get the shield down a little bit stronger as well. So after 3 turns, 56% incoming earth damage, which is quite significant. And then let's see, there's a couple of other things I wanted to show, including the Chupacabra guest. Now the Chupacabra, I didn't bother finding it because it isn't really worth much. All you can get from it is the Chupacabra guest, which does look kind of cool, but it's just an Earth Dark Seeking guest. And there's, a Water Dark Seeking guest, and we already have that for gold. The guest is gold, but we have it with a higher hit count as Luna-style Catch Hero. So there's not much point in getting this guest, unfortunately. That being said, if you like the drip, then you may as well. El Santo Moglin has some niche uses, totally worth a pickup if you're interested. I actually do like the look of him as well. I think he's a fun item, or a fun item. And then the Pinata Pummel spell. Now I don't have strength trained, so it does low damage, and combat practice trainer doesn't have an SP attack, so it doesn't get the damage boost. What I'm going to do next is retrain some stats, and then show you guys, first, I'm going to show you how much SP the Pinata Pummel heals the foe, if they do have an SP skill. And then after that, I'm finally going to retrain my stats and fight some wind monsters. So we're going to just run to the void here. Void bosses, I don't think so. Hopefully I don't get one banged. Oh, I got stunned. Okay. Still stunned. That's unlucky. Okay, hold on. Alright, so we're back, and we didn't get one shot. The spell isn't going to hit him, because I have no strength, but you can see his SP went up by a significant amount. And at level 150, I'm going to turn on the battle log so you guys can see directly. But it heals 353 SP. So, you can either use this for some cheesy strategies against bosses that you want to heal their SP, or you can use it carefully against bosses where their SP attack is quite strong, but it is a very efficient way to deal damage for warriors. Next up, we're going to fight some wind monsters. Okay, so I've got a very generic setup just your average wind armor with a wind shield, and then I've got an Earth Ellibone guest, the werepyre bats, and an Earth Ellibone pet, the saber-toothed Grenwog. This guy is a package, but the Protean pet is pretty much identical, and he's free to play. So I've also got Optico for potency, so my Ellibone inflicts more often. And I'm just going to click attack and kill 2 or 3 monsters. And I'll probably put it on fast forward so that you guys can watch it more quickly. And I'll put some music to it. So that's pretty much it for this video. Apparently I forgot. What the hell? These guys take mana. Okay. We're just going to ignore that for the moment. And I'm going to say thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and I hope this was informative. I'm really excited about this release. I think a lot of new items came out and there'll be some creative uses, especially for the water spell. I think there could be some fun stuff with that. Definitely get the cheap Pinata painting. It's only 100 tokens and it lets you access these items year round. The Chupacabra event, you can pretty much skip it. Not too important. Starslayer's token pet and guest. I'm excited to see those get used by other players who are more willing to spend their tokens. I'll be waiting for Black Friday, but that's just me. See you all in the next one. Peace and love, everybody. Have a great day.